Welcome back to my channel, everyone. If you've been here for a while and you've watched all the videos, that's amazing. Thank you so much. And if you're a new watcher, then I really hope you enjoy these. I'm hoping to do some different content in the future rather than just book reviews, but for now, this is what I have, mostly book reviews. And in honor of the 1-year anniversary of my publishing of Here's to the Underdogs, which it will have been 1 year since I published it on December 15th, so very soon. Should be like 4 days after I put this up, hoping to put this up on the 11th. So, and today's the 10th, so hopefully this will go up tomorrow if I can get it all done and get it all edited. But it will have been a year since I published Here's to the Underdogs, so in honor of that, I am doing a review of it. I just finished reading it this morning. I started it on the 7th, and it is now the 10th. I didn't do any reading yesterday. I just didn't really feel like it. I usually get an early start with my reading and I'll read for a few hours in the morning and then I can do other things throughout the day, but I didn't get a good start and then I just didn't feel like reading, so that's on me. Yeah, it only took me a couple days to read it and now I can do a review. My mom asked me if I had to read it to do a review. She thought I could just do a review without reading it, which I probably could have, but I haven't read it since I published it and I kind of wanted to. I started reading it during like early summer, late spring, and I was not in a good place to read it right then. I had a lot of things going on in my life that I was already feeling really like down about, and so reading my book, which, you know, I do love it, I really do love it, but there are mistakes in it, and I was not in the right headspace to be reading it then because all I was seeing were the mistakes, and it just made me feel so much worse about everything else. So I did just read it, and yes, there are mistakes, and I know that, but, you know, I really did love it, and I'm not going to dwell on the mistakes. It was the first book I've ever published, and I probably should have given it more attention, but I thought I was good to go, and I wasn't. You know, that happens, and the past few books that I've read, I've noticed that there were mistakes in those too, and some of them were published by actual publishing houses, so they had, you know, hired editors, professional editors, and there were still mistakes. So I did hire a professional editor, but she didn't catch everything, and I didn't catch everything. My alphas didn't catch everything. You know, it's hard to sometimes. Maybe I will eventually get the opportunity to publish a second version of this, a better version where I have fixed all of the typos and all of the formatting issues and everything else, because that was probably the biggest thing that I noticed, where there were just places where a certain piece of dialogue should have been put on the next line, but instead it was attached to the paragraph that it was part of, and that wasn't right. Or just sometimes in the middle of a sentence, the rest of the sentence would be put into a new paragraph. I don't know why. I don't know what happened with the formatting. There are definitely things that are wrong with it, and I don't understand why. But anyway, I will get into that. Yeah, I want to give a quick review of this. I'm going to try to be as fair as I can, which goes both ways. I don't want to be just praising my book and saying that everything's perfect about it, but I also don't want to just be focusing on the negatives, because that is so easy to do. I think we can be our own worst critics sometimes, and yes, it's very easy to praise what you've done and to want to say that it's perfect and that everybody should read it, or, you know, just give it too much praise, but it is so easy to also be your own worst critic and just focus on what's wrong with it. So I want to give some positives and some negatives for the book and be as gracious as I can. I don't think I'm going to have a positives and negatives. I'm just going to go through the book and say whatever, because yeah, I'm having a hard time structuring this video. All right, so of course I love the characters and I love the story. It's my book, my characters. These are some of my dearest characters. They have been with me for a very long time, since childhood, and they've just grown with me and eventually got put into a book. So this book is very, very special to me. So I do love the characters. Ben in the beginning is a little bit of a knucklehead. He's kind of just very mopey and like depressed, and while I still love him and I still think he's adorable, I'm like, all right, kid, come on, pull through this, you're fine. And I have a friend who reads it and she says she loves the beginning too, because he's just like, he's just so sad, but I don't know. We know him very well, and he's usually a very lovable goofball, but he's just like so sarcastic and sad in the beginning. But I do still love him, and I mean, he eventually figures things out and has a better outlook on life. Gosh, I don't even really know what to say. But yes, I love the characters. I think the characters are good. I probably could have developed some of them a bit more. I had a lot of characters that I just kind of threw in there for the plot, but they also didn't need a lot of development. So some of them didn't need the development. They're just kind of there to be, you know, friends. But a couple of them probably could have used more development. As for the plot, I think it's very sweet and very fun and very easy to read. I mean, I read it in 3 days because I didn't read any on the 9th yesterday. But I read it in 3 days. I probably could have read it in 2 or even 1. I just don't like to sit and read for that long. But, you know, it's charming. It's just a charming book. It's very sweet. It's a Christian contemporary, so there's, you know, no sci-fi or fantasy, which is a lot of fun. I didn't get the chance to put any of that in the book. I almost did. I was going to make it a science fiction type book and make the world kind of science fiction. And then it just didn't really feel necessary and it didn't really fit, and I wouldn't have been able to do anything other than, you know, add in a couple random descriptions. So there's a scene where Ben is looking out a window, he's in detention and he's looking out a window and he sees a hummingbird. And originally that hummingbird was going to be some magical creature that I had just created. And it was just going to be little things like that, little random tidbits in the book where it was apparent that it was sci-fi, but there was no reason for that, and it ended up working out a lot better as a contemporary. And I'm really glad that I didn't make it a sci-fi, because the science fiction wouldn't have had any place in it. The fantasy wouldn't have had any place in the book. That was not the main part of the book. So it is a contemporary, and it's tame, and it's, like I said, just sweet and charming. I think the plot probably could have been better. I didn't really have a huge dilemma, I guess. There were little dilemmas, but as I was reading it, I was like, yeah, this is really like middle grade, which there's nothing wrong with that. Middle grade can be really great, but it's not a new adult book or even an older young adult. It doesn't have that gripping action. But, you know, for a sweet, charming read, if you're looking for something that you can just kind of breeze through and have a good time with, I think this is perfect, because I did have a good time reading it. The characters are very special to me, and I think they could be special to anyone. I think they're very likable characters. And it wasn't void of any action. There was definitely action in it, and there was definitely a plot line, but it was more just, you know, following a couple students through their last year of school and going through the different challenges that they face with them and seeing them overcome those. And I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I don't think I could have given it a different plot or a better plot, honestly. For the type of book that it is, and for the characters in it, and for their story, this is their story. And I probably could have tweaked it and made it some huge, big, exciting fantasy whatever, but that wouldn't have felt right, because that's not their story. This is their story, and it's charming, and I do like it, and I will stand by it. So I have to address my writing. I don't think I've been harsh in my past reviews, but I have focused on the writing of the books that I've reviewed, and so I have to address my own writing. So, I don't think my writing is perfect. I know that my writing is not perfect, and I know that it could be better. But I do still think that it's pretty good. I think it definitely could have been a whole lot worse. Ignoring the formatting issues, because like I said, there are places where certain pieces of dialogue should have had their own, they should have been indented and had their own line, but they didn't. I don't know why. Apparently that's how I thought that things should be formatted at that time. I don't know why. My formatting of dialogue was kind of screwy. But, you know, all of that aside, I think the writing is good. So in my review of Dust, and next week I should be publishing a review of Like a Feather, and I said kind of the same thing for both of these. I said that I thought the sentences could have been varied a little bit more. I felt like they all started with, you know, just subject, verb, and then kind of went on. That was really my biggest criticism of the books. So I think, you know, they're still amazing books. I really do. And you can watch those reviews. Can't watch the Like a Feather one until next week, but go check out the Dust review. Yes, I did criticize the writing in those. And I will say, my sentences, the beginnings probably could have been varied a little bit more, but there is a difference. And I think the difference is that I tried to vary my sentences a whole lot. I really did, because this is really something that bothers me. And it's just something that I notice and something that I wanted to not do in my writing. So I do vary my sentences quite a bit, even if they seem to start with a subject and a verb a lot. I think that's pretty difficult to avoid, especially when you're having a character narrate a book. There's a lot of, I did this and I did that, and it's a little bit hard to escape from all the time. But I do have quite a bit of variation, even in my sentences that start with a subject and verb instead of starting with, a gerund phrase or something. I have a lot of variation in the length of my sentences and the structure, and I think there is enough variation that it doesn't feel like it's repetitive. I guess that's all I will say about that. Yes, the writing could be better, but I was actually pleasantly surprised by it, because I think earlier when I was reading it, I really didn't find anything positive about it. I was just in a very bad place. And reading it over the past few days, I really, really enjoyed it, and I felt really good about it, and especially the writing. I felt very good about the writing. So for all of its other faults, for all of the plot holes that I missed, and all of the formatting that could definitely be better, and the typos, you're gonna find those things in every book. So I think overall it was very good. It was my debut, and I can only hope to improve as I go on, as I think all authors should. I think that should be the goal of all authors. Nobody is perfect. There are always going to be things in your writing that could be better, and all you can do is improve. So write what you can, and if you've published a book, that's amazing. And years from now, 10 years from now, I will have learned so much more, and my standards will be higher, and my writing will be better, and my plot and my characters and everything will just be better in 10 years than it is right now. But for a year ago when I published this, that's where I was at, and it's not half bad. I am very pleased with my book, and I'm very proud of it. So like I said, I don't want to say that it was perfect, but I think there was a lot that was good about it. And I'm not going to apologize for promoting my own book, or for standing by it, or for saying that I think it was a great book, because I think it was a great book. Objectively, I think it was a great book. I think there was a lot that could be better, and I'm hoping to improve in my next book. But for this one, I'm happy with it. I really am. And it is such a good feeling to be happy with your book, because it is such an awful feeling to have regrets. Gosh, sorry, I'm getting emotional, but it is such an awful feeling to have regrets, and for so long I've had regrets about this book, and I've had a lot of regrets. I am the kind of person who will just jump headfirst into something, and I get really, really excited about things, and I will be so excited for, a week or 2 weeks or a month, and then my excitement kind of dies down, or I discover that I bit off more than I can chew. I have an example. So I know in a previous video I said that I was going to do a giveaway for the 1-year anniversary of my book, but I had a stipulation. I wanted to reach 100 book sales by then, because that is something that has been disappointing. This book didn't do as well as I thought it would do. I had higher expectations than I should have. I wanted to reach 100 book sales and then do a giveaway with my book and a candle and a keychain and 2 bookmarks, and I spent so much money on this, and I was so excited, and I don't think I can do it, because I didn't reach 100 book sales, and I didn't have it gain as much traction as I thought I would, and I didn't really feel like anybody else was excited. Like, I was so excited for this. I thought it was so cool. And I wasn't just giving away my book because I felt like that would be kind of cheap. I wasn't going to be that naive and think that it would be that special that people would jump at the opportunity to get a free copy, which maybe they would, but not with the stipulation that I had. But I did think, a book and a candle and a keychain and bookmarks, like, yeah, that's a pretty good deal. I'm not just giving away my book, I'm doing something really special. And I was really excited about it. So excited. And that kind of fell through because there wasn't a lot of excitement from other people. And, that's on me. I had higher expectations than I should have, and my expectations are very often too high. So that's my bad. I'm going to rethink this. I'm going to come up with something else, and I do want to do this giveaway at some point. I don't think I can in the month of December. I'm going to be trying to come up with some video ideas and film as much as I can and get ready to take a trip, and I don't think I can right now. I'm also kind of coming down off that high and trying to pull myself out of the low that I got in because of this giveaway. So at some point in the near future though, I do want to do this giveaway still. I do still want to do this. I said that I would do it, and I will do it. I'm not going back on my promise, because my promise was that I would do it if I reached 100 book sales, and I haven't. So I'm not going back on my promise. I do still want to do this, but I think I need a different goal. And maybe that will be to reach 100 YouTube subscribers, or I don't know, maybe there won't necessarily be a goal, but we'll see. I need to rethink it, come up with something different, and then do this giveaway. So it's going to be a little while, but I can give you a sneak peek at what will be in the giveaway. So here's a sneak peek of what will be in the giveaway. Of course, my book, which, like I said, I'm still proud of. I do love the cover. If I ever do a second edition, I'm going to fix the lighting here a little bit. It's really hard to go from digital to print because the digital copy that my cover designer sent me, it looked perfect. It was beautiful. And I even asked her to lighten it once before because she'd sent me a first draft of the cover and it was still a little bit dark. So I asked her to brighten it, and she did. And it looked great. It looked so great online. And then when I got the printed copy, it was just darker than it had been. So that's something I'm going to look out for in the future, and that's something you can be aware of too if you're looking to publish a book. The printed version might be darker than the online version, so just be careful. But I do still think it's beautiful. I do still love it. My dad drew these two for me, just sketched them out on paper, and I sent my cover designer a picture, and she came up with this, and I really love it. And then my formatter matched the interior with the exterior, and I was very happy with it, so I am very happy. So the giveaway will be this book, a candle, a specialty Here's to the Underdogs candle, and if you want to buy one of these, you can go to Hopbrook Lane Candles on Etsy. I will leave a link down below to the page where these are, but I have Underdogs candles now. I mean, how cool is that? And look at they sparkle. So I am still excited, and this was something I was so excited for because I love candles, and now I have my own Here's to the Underdogs candle. Sorry, there is a bad glare. You get the point. There's also a keychain, which I had designed. I love the color. I felt like the color was just perfect. You know, blue and green is kind of what I associate with the book. And it says Underdogs Club on it, so if you want to join the Underdogs Club, there'll be a keychain in the box, as well as 2 tickets or 2 bookmarks. So yes, these are 2 bookmarks. They are designed to look like tickets because the Underdogs are a band in the book. A little bit of book spoilers, but they're supposed to look like tickets, and I designed the top one, and then a friend of mine designed the bottom one, and I really, really love hers actually. Once I got them, I was like, man, I should have just gone with hers because I really love it. But I am glad that I did both. So you can get 2 bookmarks, Underdogs bookmarks, specialty. Yeah, I don't know. Get tickets to go see the Underdogs. So I guess that one was kind of upside down. And the keychain was designed by Emily Cromwell, and she also has an Etsy shop and her own shop, and I will leave links down below because her stuff is just absolutely amazing. I was so happy to work with her and Jen from Hopbrook Candles. Really, really fun to work with them, and I do thank them so much for doing this. It will just be a little while before I actually do the giveaway, but yeah, check out their shops because they're incredible. So incredible. Emily Cromwell does a lot of different things. She has tons of gorgeous bookmarks. Actually, this is one of her bookmarks, and then this one up here too. This one says, "You can never have too many book boyfriends," which I love. And then this one is just Shannon Ardsma Writer, which is my Instagram. She does beautiful bookmarks. She has some book reading journals, mugs, ornaments. I mean, all sorts of things. Just check her out. She's got some really beautiful stuff. And Hopbrook Lane Candles, she has tons of candles too, and I love them, and I've been wanting to buy some, but I mean, now I have my own, and hopefully I will be able to get some more soon. Money, funds allowing. Money is always an issue, but we'll see. I was going to do a little bit of trivia about the book, but I don't think I will this time. I think in a later video when I talk all about my publishing journey, which maybe that'll be in a soon upcoming video, I would like to do that. But when I talk about my publishing journey, maybe I'll also give some info about the Underdogs, or maybe that'll be a separate video altogether. Maybe it'll be its own video where I just give some backstory, give some insight. I don't know. Anything you want to know. Ask in the comments down below if you have any questions about the book, and if you've read it and there's something you're wondering about, please let me know. I do know that there are plot holes in the book, like a time when Ben and Colette walked to school, but then when they were leaving school, they had their cars. I didn't catch that. My sister caught that after I published the book. I was like, well, it's a little late now, but oh well. So yes, I know that there are plot holes and I know that there are issues. It's not perfect, but I would still say that it's pretty good and I'm still proud of it. So if you want to check it out, I will leave a link down below. The 1-year anniversary will be December 15th, so coming up very, very soon. That is also Benjamin's birthday, the main character of the book. December 15th is his birthday. He would be 21, I believe, this year, if I'm correct, which is a little bit strange because it's kind of weird to have your characters be older than you when they're also kind of like your child, which Ben is very much like my child. I actually put myself in the book as his aunt, so I am now his aunt, which is kind of cool. But it is kind of weird to me that if he were a real person, he'd be older than me by a year. So, pretty crazy. But anyway, yeah, wish Ben a happy birthday on December 15th if you'd like to. It will be his birthday and the 1-year anniversary of the book. And I think that's pretty exciting. I need to get a move on my next book. It would have been really awesome to have another book out this year, but I don't know how people can do that. And I've been in a little bit of a writing slump, so I'll get there. If you want to hear about my work in progress, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll do a whole video about my current work in progress, and maybe that will help to inspire me and motivate me. We'll see, because I definitely need some motivation. But anyway, I guess that's enough rambling. I'm gonna end this here. But I hope you enjoyed this video. That's my kind of all over the place review of The Underdogs. It's a great book, has some issues, but great book, and great for pretty much all ages. There is an attempted suicide scene in the book, so not great for very young children, but still on the younger side of teens, I would say. I know that I definitely loved it, and I've had lots of people who have told me they loved it. I would really appreciate it if you checked out Here's to the Underdogs. It is a Christian contemporary book on the younger side of young adult, but a very enjoyable read, and I think it's totally worth it. So if you want to check it out, I will leave a link down below. I would really appreciate that. Check out my Instagram too. I'll leave that linked, and a link to my website, which I promise I'm still using. I just don't update it very much. Please let me know what you thought of this review, and if you've read the book, please let me know what you think. And I guess that's it. So thank you for sticking around for this entire video. I'm hoping to be able to trim it down quite a bit because currently it's at 30 minutes and that's a little long. But anyway, thank you for listening and have a blessed day, everyone.